Have you ever caught yourself thinking, am I keeping up, when you're out with friends or at a family gathering? Maybe you've wondered why some days feel a little heavier than they used to, or why that afternoon nap seems more tempting than ever. Well, what if I told you there's a good chance you're doing better than you think, maybe even better than a lot of your peers? You see, aging isn't a one-size-fits-all journey. Some of us might feel like we're slowing down, but our bodies often have quiet, subtle ways of telling us we're still thriving. And today, I want to shine a light on those signs, those little victories you might not even realize are victories, because sometimes the things we take for granted are actually proof that we're aging well. So let's talk about 6 body signs that show you're healthier than you might think, and why they matter. Now let's start with something we all notice as we get older: our energy levels. But here's the thing. If you're still able to tackle your daily routine without feeling completely drained by noon, that's a big win. Maybe you're someone who still enjoys gardening, taking walks around the neighborhood, or keeping up with your grandkids. That stamina, it's not just luck. It's a sign your body is maintaining muscle strength and endurance, which are huge predictors of long-term health. And guess what? You don't need to run marathons to keep that going. Simple things like pacing yourself, staying hydrated, and adding a few minutes of gentle movement to your day can make all the difference. Another sign you're aging like fine wine? Flexibility. Can you still bend down to tie your shoes without groaning? Reach for that top shelf in the kitchen without feeling like your shoulders are staging a protest. That's your body telling you it's holding on to its youthful range of motion. Flexibility isn't just about avoiding stiffness. It's about preventing falls, staying independent, and keeping your joints happy. And here's a little secret. It's never too late to improve it. A 5-minute stretch in the morning or a beginner's yoga class can work wonders. My friend Martha started doing chair yoga at 72, and now she swears it's the reason she can still dance at her granddaughter's weddings. Now let's talk about something we don't always celebrate enough: your skin. If people still compliment you on your glow or ask what moisturizer you use, take it as a badge of honor. Healthy skin isn't just about vanity. It's a window into your overall well-being. Hydrated, resilient skin means your body is holding on to moisture and nutrients, and it's a sign you're protecting yourself from the sun and staying hydrated. But even if your skin feels a little drier these days, don't worry. A good sunscreen, a hat when you're outdoors, and drinking plenty of water can help you maintain that radiance. And remember those laugh lines? They're proof of a life well lived. These are just the first few signs, of course. But isn't it amazing how our bodies whisper these encouragements to us if we listen closely? Maybe you're nodding along right now thinking, hey, I do still feel pretty spry. Or maybe you're realizing there's a habit or two you could tweak to feel even better. Either way, that's the beauty of this journey. It's never too late to celebrate where you are and take a step towards something new. So what's next? Well, there's more to uncover, like how your sleep, your appetite, and even your attitude are quietly working in your favor. But for now, why not take a moment today to appreciate what your body's already doing right? Maybe take an extra lap around the garden, try a new stretch, or just raise a glass of water to your health. After all, aging isn't about competing with anyone else. It's about honoring the unique, resilient person you are. The things that recharge us, like a solid night's sleep or a hearty dinner, are often the quiet heroes of staying healthy. And that brings me to our next sign: sleep. Now, I'm not talking about sleeping like a teenager until noon. If you're waking up feeling mostly rested, even if it's a little earlier than you'd like, that's a win. Quality sleep is your body's way of repairing muscles, balancing hormones, and keeping your mind sharp. My neighbor Frank used to toss and turn every night until he started reading actual books instead of scrolling on his tablet. Now he says he drifts off like he did in his 40s. Small changes, big rewards. Speaking of rewards, let's talk about your appetite. If you still enjoy meals, really savor that first bite of a ripe tomato or a slice of your favorite pie, it's not just a pleasure. It's a sign your senses are still vibrant and your digestion is doing its job. Now, maybe you've noticed certain foods don't sit as well as they used to. That's normal. But if you're still able to eat a varied diet without constant discomfort, your gut is quietly thanking you. And here's a tip. Hydration and fiber are your allies. My cousin Edna swears by starting her day with a glass of warm water and a handful of prunes. She calls it her internal sunshine routine. And honestly, she's onto something. But let's not forget the most powerful sign of all, one that's easy to overlook. Your attitude. If you catch yourself laughing at life's little absurdities, or feeling curious about trying something new, even if it's just a different route to the grocery store, that's your secret weapon. A positive outlook doesn't just make life more enjoyable, it actually strengthens your immune system and helps you bounce back from setbacks. Take my friend Helen. At 75, she decided to learn pottery. Threw herself into it, pun intended. Some days, her vases look more like abstract art, but she says the joy is in the mess. And you know what? Science backs her up. Staying engaged and curious keeps your brain nimble. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I don't feel positive all the time? Oh, believe me, none of us do. Aging comes with its share of losses and aches. But here's the thing. It's not about ignoring the hard stuff. It's about noticing the moments that still spark wonder. The way sunlight hits your coffee cup in the morning, the sound of a grandchild's laugh. Those moments add up. They're proof your heart's still in the game. So, let's tie this all together. If you're sleeping enough, eating with pleasure, and facing the day with a little curiosity, even on the tough days, you're doing far better than you might realize. These aren't just habits, they're celebrations of a body and mind that's still thriving. And the best part? Every single one of these signs is something you can nurture, starting today. Maybe it's brewing a cup of herbal tea before bed, or swapping one processed snack for something fresh. Or even just giving yourself permission to say, hey, I'm doing all right. Because here's the truth. Aging isn't about outrunning time. It's about walking hand in hand with it, noticing the gifts it leaves along the way. And from where I'm standing, you've got plenty to celebrate. You know, when I was younger, I used to think aging was like watching a sunset. Something beautiful, but tinged with a sense of ending. But now I see it more like tending a garden. Some days you prune, some days you water, and every now and then you step back and realize just how much has bloomed in spite of the weeds. And that's what we've been talking about, isn't it? Those blooms, the ways your body and mind keep surprising you even when you least expect it. We've walked through 6 signs that you're thriving. Your energy, flexibility, skin, sleep, appetite, and that spark of curiosity in your heart. But here's what ties them all together. They're not just checkboxes on a list. They're reminders that you're still growing. Maybe you're not climbing mountains anymore, but if you can still bend to tie your shoes, laugh at a grandkid's joke, or savor a meal without rushing, you're living proof that aging isn't about decline. It's about refinement. I'll let you in on something my grandmother used to say. Getting older is a privilege denied to many. And she was right. Every ache, every wrinkle, every morning you wake up ready to try again, it's all part of a story that's uniquely yours. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. You're not just aging, you're evolving. And that evolution, it's something to celebrate every single day. Now, I'd love to hear your story. Maybe you've noticed one of these signs in yourself, or perhaps you've discovered a new habit that's made you feel stronger. Share it in the comments below. Let's create a little corner of encouragement here where we can all learn from each other. Because here's the truth, none of us are doing this alone. Every tip, every shared struggle, every Me Too moment, it all adds up. And if this video resonated with you, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's a simple way to keep this conversation going, to remind yourself and others that life after 60 isn't a winding down. It's a stepping up, a chance to live with more intention, more gratitude, and yes, more joy. So here's to you, to the walks you'll take, the naps you'll enjoy without guilt, the new hobbies you'll dare to try. Here's to the quiet victories and the messy, glorious journey of being exactly where you are. Thank you for spending this time with me. Now go out there and live like the gift you are.